So this video is for brow and lash tinting. I'm tired. It'll be fine. We are going to start this video like we've just gotten to work. So we're gonna wash our hands, and we're gonna wash our hands down to our wrists, and we are gonna wash our hands on the back of our hands down to our wrists. We are gonna wash our fingers. We are gonna wash the backs of our fingers. We are gonna wash our fingertips and nails. We're gonna wash between our fingers and our thumbs. We're gonna wash our thumbs. We're gonna wash our wrists. We're using liquid hand soap. We've turned the sink on and wet our hands. Of course, all of this is happening for 20 to 30 seconds, proper hand wash. Then we do the proper rinse. Really rinse it good. Grab a clean towel or disposable paper towels to turn the water off, and then you can thoroughly dry your hands. Toss, if it's disposable paper towels, toss it. If it's a towel, it's gonna go into a closed container until laundry time. Then you're gonna find your hand sanitizer. You're gonna make sure that it is 70% ethyl alcohol, and then you are going to sanitize your hands. Then you look at your appointments for the day, and you know that your very first client is a brow and lash tint. So you're gonna make sure that you set up your area. And in order to do that, you will go to your room, and you're going to prepare your room and your tray. So what you wanna do is disinfect that workstation. So bed and equipment, and you're going to use a disinfectant wipe and follow manufacturer's instructions. Check equipment to ensure that all devices are in safe working order and plugged into a working receptacle. Gather clean supplies needed for the lash and brow tint service, storing in a clean, closed container. Dispense products needed for the service according to the client's desired shade for brows and lashes. So you can't do that at this point, but you're gonna have it there so that you can do it, so you're not taking time away from this service. You're not gonna set up a whole tray when your client is waiting and clean a room. Not practical. You're gonna do it ahead of time. So just have your tints close, and then once you determine your client's shade in the client consultation, you'll be able to mix on your tray. That's the plan. But for all the other things, you can just prepare disposable portion cups for each product with a portion of the product by opening the top of the container and ensuring the tip of the nozzle does not come into contact with the disposable portion cup tray, or remove the product with a disinfected or clean single-use spatula, close the lid to the product, and set the portion cup tray on the tray. You'll drape your facial bed using 1 fitted sheet, 1 flat sheet, and 3 towels. So place the clean laundered sheets down on the disinfected facial bed, placing a towel horizontally at the head of the bed. Lay a hairnet and a headband on top of the first towel, along with a rolled towel to support the head and neck of the client. Save the third towel to lay across the client's décolleté. You could also use disposable table paper to drape the bed. So let's go over everything we have on our tray because it's prepared and ready to go. We have cotton rounds. We have makeup remover. We have our protecting cream. We have water. We have, let's say, our color cream, and then we have our developer. We have iPads. We have disposable mascara wands. We have little applicators, and we have, of course, disposable gloves, paper towels, in case we need something extra like paper towels. So that is ready, and our client is getting ready to arrive. So just need a little sip of juice. Sorry, y'all. My throat is feeling dry. A lot of talking. A lot of videos. So what we're going to do is we're going to greet our client who has arrived for her appointment. And at this point, you will be going to your client. We always like to say this. There is no question that you're going to greet your client with clean hands. I've washed my hands, but I'm going to wash them again before service. But I just want you to know you're always going to go meet your client with clean hands. So my hands are clean. I'm gonna go meet my client. I'm gonna greet them and escort them to the work area. I'm gonna determine the client's preferences and assess the client's needs. I'm gonna assess the client's skin by performing a visual skin analysis to ensure that there is no inflamed, infected, broken, raised, or swollen skin in the area to be worked on, or an open wound or sore in the area to be worked on. An infection or infestation like lice or scabies to prevent from safely performing the service. I'm going to assess the client's consultation form for any medications and products used within the last 72 hours. Consult on any known allergies. Consult with the client on any facial surgeries within the last 3 months, and if the client is under a physician's care. We're going to assess if the client has used exfoliating or lightening agents within the last 72 hours, like alpha hydroxy acids, beta hydroxy acids, hydroquinone, etc. We'll assess facial injections within the last 3 weeks, like Botox or hyaluronic fillers. If the client is free from any of these contraindications, you can move forward with the procedure, which she's great. So we do need to wash our hands, but before we do that, we've got to get her comfortable. So we're going to take her to the facial bed and get her down and comfortable. Now, she doesn't have to be wearing any special clothes for this, but we want her to feel good and cozy. So we're going to take that rolled towel and place it underneath her neck for that extra support. And we're going to take a headband and put it on her to keep her hair out of her brow and eye area, because we're going to tint those lashes and the brows. And then we're also going to take that extra time to drape her, cover her up. We don't want any skin, décolleté, or clothing to be exposed to any tint as well. So once she is covered and comfortable, it is time for you to do your hand wash. So you're going to wet your hands at the sink. With water. Get some liquid hand soap, coin size amount, and then go ahead and rub your palms, cleanse your palms down to the wrist, and you're going to wash the back of your hands down to your wrist. You are going to wash your fingers. You're going to wash the back of your fingers, of course. You're going to wash between your fingers and between your fingers and your thumb. Take the time to wash those fingertips, fingernails. You're going to wash your thumbs. You're going to wash your wrists, making sure that you're doing all of this gorgeous wash for 20 to 30 second minimum before you rinse your hands underneath running water. Get them thoroughly, properly rinsed, and then reach for either disposable paper towels or a clean towel. Turn that water faucet off. Dry your hands off completely. You can toss the paper towels or towel at that point, and then you need to find that hand sanitizer, 70% ethyl alcohol, and we're going to sanitize. And with this point in the game here of your service, getting ready to go into your service, you have to apply gloves, disposable gloves. So make sure your hands are really dry, or it makes it difficult to apply disposable gloves. Definitely not fun to do. So we are going to put on our gloves. And gloves are on. So before we even go over to our client to start, we're going to go ahead and mix up our tints. So we're going to take, you're going to follow manufacturer's instructions, whatever they are for the tints that you're using. For ours today, I'm going to say that it's 3/4 of an inch of your color cream to 2 to 4 drops of your developer. So you're going to have your color cream and you're going to squeeze in your developer. So flip, 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 flip. There's my 4 drops. And then I'm going to mix it all up. Mix, mix, mix. Mix, mix, because that way it can process while you are cleaning off your client's makeup, eye makeup and eyebrow makeup. So you want to make sure you do that really good cleaning. So what we're doing right now is we are just taking the time to go ahead. We have determined her color, so I had a whole bunch of tints to choose from. We figured that out in her client consultation. I know her style. I know what looking at the color of her brow and lash, what I think the best recommendation would be. I figured that out, and now what I'm doing is just taking the time to do my proper mix, and then I'll let it sit there and develop while I'm doing the clean. So that's like 3 to 4 minutes. It'll be ready to go when I'm ready to go. So that's a good time saver and just really effective for you and your clients. So at this point, it's time to remove any makeup, oils, moisturizers, etc. around those lashes and those eyebrows. So let's focus on that. So what you want to do is you want to wet some rounds, and we're going to place them on her eyes. And then we're going to remove her brow color and oils, etc. that might be around the brow foundation and all of that first. And I'm just going to grab some additional removers. I thought I had more set up, but I don't. So just taking a quick second here to get this on my tray. I've been doing a lot of videos today, so I think I have a ton of stuff on my tray, but I've been going through it really quick. Okay, so now I'm going to remove the makeup from her brow. And if you need to do this multiple times, do not hesitate. You've got to get it all off. Oops, good, I need that one anyway, so that's good. Okay, oh goodness, sorry. Now, brows are good and clean. Let's get on to the eyes. So we're going to take a minute here to do the same thing. Clean those that eye area. Once again, don't hesitate if you need to do these rounds and you need to do another one. We're just doing our makeup remover. So you just take your time and get everything off. Otherwise, your tint's not going to take. And then give yourself a minute here too to get everything really good and dry, because you want, once again, we want everything to take. We don't want makeup remover, water, oils. And she'll be the happier for it because you've cared enough to prep correctly. And then once you've done that, you can protect her. That's the next step. Okay, good. Everything's gorgeous. So now what we want to do is put on that protective cream. We're going to put it under her eyes and we're going to put it all the way around her brow. So let's take care of that next step. We've got our protective cream, so we're going to try to get as close to that lash line as we can underneath the lashes here, up to that lash line. Taking a minute to apply that protective cream. Very important step that does not need to be overlooked. We don't want the tint to go places it's not supposed to go. We want to keep her nice and safe. We're going to go over to this side. And same thing over here. We are going to take a minute and place that protective cream up under the eyes. And then we're going to take this end to toss this disposable applicator. And then we will also do the same for her brows. We're going to apply that protective cream underneath and above for her brows. And we've already kind of like figured out our shape and mapping it out. We know exactly where this is going because we know her style and her desired outcome. So we're just taking the time to protect the area around it. That's all we're doing here. We're going to make sure it's amazing. And it's easy to do. Other side. And for this entire time, I've had her keep her eyes closed. And she will be eyes closed for most of it, except what's coming up after we get her pads on and we do her lashes first. We're going to do the bottom lashes first. It's the only time she's going to have those eyes open, and you're going to do both bottoms before you do the top. You do not want her to, once she closes those eyes, you can't, when you start tinting, she can't reopen. So till the tint's off. So make sure that you remember that and she understands that. Okay, so our protective cream is on under the lash area and all around the brows. And then what we're gonna do now is place those protective eye pads. So we're just gonna let her know we're coming in with our eye pads. Here we come. And I have her look up and I place the pads up underneath those bottom lashes. And she can relax on that side, and then I'm going to come in on the other side with the protective pad. And I get it up nice and tight to that lash line. And that looks awesome. And so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get that applicator of the tint, because the tint's ready to go now, it's processed. And I'm going to get those bottom lashes done first before anything else, and then I'm going to let her close her eyes for the entire duration of the service after I get those bottom lashes done. So I'm going to say, Sue, look up. She's looking up. And I'm going to quickly do, I'm bracing, I'm going to quickly do those bottom lashes across this side. Awesome, Sue. Other side. Quickly doing this one. The bottoms, the teensy little bottom lashes. Okay, Sue, you can close. Perfect. And now we're going to go in with the tint with the upper lashes. So now she gets to relax and keep those eyes closed. And that's important that we get her to that state so she's comfortable. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm always bracing here, and I really would not have to hold the pad. It's going to stick, but it's not really stuck down. So I'm going to hold the pad as well while I comb the lash tint on her lashes. Normally I would need to do this. And it's going to look great. She's glamour girl, so she went for black, and I think that's amazing because it's going to look so pretty. Like a nice bold choice. So when she has no makeup on, it's going to look like she has mascara on. It's a really good move on her part with that. I think that's really going to be pretty on her. And then we're going to get a little bit more because we're going to go over to the other side. Doing the brace. I'm bracing my hand on her forehead as I apply the mascara wand, which has got the tint on it. And I've just switched hands so I can go to this inner corner, and I'm bracing with fingers. And you're going to always follow your manufacturer's instructions based on the tints that you're using. So I'm going to pretend like the tints that I'm using, say, set a 10-minute timer for your lash tinting. So what I'm going to do right now is pause for a minute, go over and set a 10-minute timer. And then I'm going to come back over with my tint, because this is a bit of a glamour change for her, and I'm going to really comb this tint through a few more times to make sure that everything is fully coated, so they're all that same intensity, that same dark intensity that she's coming to get the service for. So I really want to make sure that it's pretty spectacular. So that's what I'm taking the time to do right now, is really give her the end result that she's been dying to get. And I'm just being picky. So I'm just taking my time to really nail this tint. Like I said, super important that it's intense and even in tone. So I'm coating it. Nothing wrong with being a perfectionist. People love in beauty when you care about every little detail, right? They want you to be perfect. So this is me caring about her lash tint like nobody's business. Okay, so we set a 10-minute timer, and because we have a video, we don't really have a 10-minute timer going. So we're not really gonna take 10 minutes to do it. We're going to pretend like 10 minutes has elapsed, though, so we're going to go ahead and remove the tint at this point. So in order to do that, the first thing you're going to want to do is take off these eye pads that have been adhered to that under eye area, so that you can then remove the tint. So just be gentle and go ahead and take off the eye pads that are underneath her eye, and you're going to throw them away. And then we're going to take water and remove the tint from the lashes. Now this may take you several times to do, 2-3 times to get all the tint off. Take your time, get it off. You just see as you go along what your client needs. And then when you feel like you've gotten a good bit on one eye, you can go to the other eye, and then you can always go back to that eye, like do both, go back and do both again, like whatever it is that you feel would be appropriate for your client as you're working along. Just gives her the tint off, get the oxidizing off, and then you can go back and get the excess. So you can do that first, remove, and then go back and do that next. And if you need a third, take it. And decide where you are and what you need. And then we've got to get your brow tint on, girly girl, because your lashes are amazing. So we got to get the brows on the same level. Okay, our brows look gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. They look bold, they look black, they look even. That was the most important thing, is I wanted that intensity across the board. Okay, really nice. Now it's time for us to apply our brow tint. So we're gonna get that same nice intensity, but it won't be on as long, so it's gonna be really balanced and pretty. Brow color for this, we're gonna follow manufacturer's instructions always, but let's say 3 minutes. Brows, 3 minutes. Lashes were 10, we're gonna say brows 3. And we're just using an applicator, you can use a brush, whatever it is, to apply that brow tint. You've got your protective cream on, of course, and you're applying it within the direction of that hair growth here with the tint. And let's get some more for this other brow. We gotta let it get on there, and we gotta let it do its thing. So she has nice lashes, she has nice brows. She just wants to not have to do that fill in with either a brow gel or shadow. So she felt like a tint would really show the shape nicely, and it does. So where her hair is lighter, it's going to give her a little bit more of that definition and just like a nice, really nice shape. So love it. And we are going to then set the timer for the brow tint. So just making sure there's not anywhere that it's not supposed to be, and I'm setting that 3-minute timer, right? So we've got our timer on, we're just double checking ourselves on tint placement, and it's gonna look a little crazy probably, but we're gonna leave it there, and that we are getting ready to hear that beeper of the timer so that we can take the tint off. And it's ready to come off, so here we go. We're just doing that warp speed time lapse that it's coming off. And once again, it's the same. You want to be super gentle with this part though, because you don't want any water to get in her eye. So just be mindful of that when you're removing. Just go slow and steady. And once again, however many times you need to remove, feel free to do that. Okay, we are really rocking and rolling here with these brows as well. I'm going to give it one more pass on either side because I want to make sure that we've got everything off that we are trying to get off before we can move forward and get her out of here. Perfect. And we're going to take another pass on this side. Everything looks really spectacular, bold and defined, but still balanced with her. I mean, she can definitely handle it, and it took really well, protected really well. So everything is what you want to see. So let's show the client her amazing new lashes and brows, and oh, ooh la la, she could not be any happier. Of course, it was exactly her style, exactly what she's looking for. So what you're going to do now is let her remove all the things. Extra towel, the drape, get her purse, get her things, and then you're going to remove your disposable gloves so that you can meet with her to do your review on what maintenance, aftercare, and or any steps that she might need to follow to just really maintain this, or when you recommend or suggest a follow-up appointment. Because she's already told you that she wants one because it looks so good and she'd like to continue to do it. So you'll get her booked for that, get her checked out. And you have a full day today. She was just your first client, so you got to get back to that room to do the next things to set up for your next client. So of course, you're going to dispose of any single-use item like those disposable cups, any rounds, tissues, etc. that have been used. You're going to toss those. You are going to, excuse me one second. Sorry. You're going to take any implements that might have been used, put them in a closed container labeled to be disinfected, and then any of that laundry, like towels, headband, drape, sorry, I'm going to sneeze again. Excuse me, and put them in a closed container until time for laundry. You are going to identify proper cleaning agent, read the manufacturer's directions, follow manufacturer's directions for mixing and usage, wipe down your workstation and area with the cleaning solution to remove debris. And then you have to identify a disinfectant that is bactericidal, virucidal, and fungicidal, EPA approved for use in a salon setting, which means you're going to put your gloves back on, a new pair, not the same one. And then you'll follow manufacturer's directions for mixing in or using appropriate aerosol disinfectant. Disinfect electrical equipment, store it in a clean area separate from other implements. To finish this service, you have to wash your hands. Wet your hands, coin size hand soap, rub your hands together down to the wrist, rub the back of your hands together down to the wrist. You're going to wash your fingers, the back of your fingers. You're going to wash your fingertips and your nails. You're going to wash between your fingers and your thumbs. You're going to wash your thumbs. You're going to wash your wrists. All of that for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds. Rinse thoroughly under the water. Find a clean towel or disposable paper towels. Turn off the sink. Dry your hands thoroughly. Get your 70% ethyl alcohol hand sanitizer. Pump it out and finish your hand sanitization. And you are then ready to set up for your next client or service because you have completed brow and lash tint.